guys, welcome back to the all new and improved ErikaBuilds with a brand new channel logo and intro. What did you guys think? Did you like it? I know I mentioned in my last video that I had someone working on it, and I have to admit I was a little bit nervous because I had no idea how it was going to turn out, but I think it's really cute. So yeah, leave me a comment and let me know what you think of the new design. And I'm using this logo across everything now, so here on YouTube and also over on Instagram and Twitter. So hopefully people will still recognize my accounts without my lovely Sim smiling back at them anymore, which is kind of a little bit sad since she has been my icon for everything for like 2.5 years. So, but I think it was definitely time for a change. Needed a fresh new look, and yeah. So I really like how it all turned out, and I hope you do too. Now getting on with today's speed build, we are in the world of Glimmerbrook, which, as you probably know, is the world that came with the Realm of Magic game pack. And we're working on a recreation of a real house that I'm showing to you now. I found this picture on Instagram. And this lot is called Rock Ridge Canyon. It's a 40 by 30. If you've been watching my builds, you probably know that I build on this lot quite often. Usually anytime I'm doing like a big house or a rustic house, I really like this lot because it has the mountains in the back and all the trees, which I thought really fit this this sort of modern farmhouse that I was building, mainly because I wanted it to have a little bit of a rustic feel. So I think the lot definitely helped with that. And so I have a lot of pictures for you guys today. I want to show you the blueprints that I used as I was designing the house. Here I'm showing you one of the side right now. I've mentioned before that I don't always use blueprints when I do recreations. It kind of just depends on if the house that I find happens to have them available. I'll usually do like a Google image search to see if I can find any additional pictures anytime I find a house that I really want to recreate. And luckily, this one had pictures from all 4 sides, which was super helpful because a lot of times it'll only be the front and then I have to just kind of figure out what the back and what the sides look like. But this house really was perfect because I had all 4 sides and it took out a lot of the guesswork to try to figure out what in the world, you know, the house was going to look like all the way around. So here now you're seeing another blueprint. This one is of the front of the house, and this is kind of similar to some of the other modern farmhouses that I've built here on the channel before. So if you like those, you might also enjoy using this one in your game. I really like the design just because it was a little bit unusual. The roof line was sort of traditional at first glance, and then I looked and I saw that it had kind of some interesting features that just made it look a little more modern and just a little bit different, which appeals to me because, you know, when you build a lot, especially over many months and years, sometimes it's hard to get inspired to build a house unless it has some kind of feature that catches your attention and kind of makes it more interesting. So yeah, probably the first thing you noticed was that this house is up on quite a steep hill because it has a walkout basement. And anytime that you're working with a walkout basement, basically the basement is built on the ground level and then the terrain is raised up to the top of the ceiling of the basement, and then that becomes your first floor. But it's kind of tricky because depending on how you manipulate the terrain, you're gonna end up with like some gaps and crevices that you just, the terrain will not pull up just flush against the wall. And so that always poses kind of a little bit of a problem in trying to figure out, how you're gonna hide these different gaps. Are you gonna use trees or shrubbery or rocks or whatever? So you'll see here in a few minutes what I ended up doing to kind of disguise those gaps in the terrain. But yeah, other than that, really the next probably hardest thing is just getting the entire lot really smooth. As you know, if you've worked with terrain, when you raise it, you get these kind of orangey dirt. You see one there on the right side of the screen now. And, you know, it's not really very attractive and it kind of stands out. And so I use the smooth tool a lot to kind of try to alleviate as much of that orange as I can. When the house was all done, I still did have a few orange kind of parts peeking through, but I tried to get rid of most of them. And then here I wanted to show you another blueprint, this time of the opposite side of the house on the garage side. And I really liked how this house had a very large porch off of the kitchen that kind of was built into the house. Instead of it being just like a traditional deck that's just sticking off, it was actually kind of tucked into the floor plan, which I thought was really cool. And then the walkout basement was also something that interested me because every time I build one, I feel like I get maybe a little bit better at it. And so this time, I think the way that I ended up doing the terrain to kind of hide the gaps is probably one of the better terrain manipulation moments that I've had over the last few months. So that's always something that takes a lot of practice, and hopefully you guys will like how it turned out. Now you're kind of seeing more from the back side of the house. Here is a photo of the blueprint for the back, which the back is pretty plain. The second floor is the kitchen where all the cabinets and everything are. That's why there's no mirrors, no windows in that one section of the back. But other than that, the other windows, you know, into the upstairs bedrooms and then in the downstairs family room. I just kind of use the blueprint as like a loose basis for where I was going to put those windows. And then here you see me working on that deck again, which is right off the kitchen. So it's really handy for like outdoor dining. This is where I put like the grill and some like potted plants and outdoor dining table and stuff like that. And so you kind of actually end up having like two porches, because there's the one here off the main level and then there's the one that's off of the basement. Here we did a little bit of a time skip because I spent so much time working on the exterior wallpapers for this house. I must have changed them, so I don't even know, for hours, I feel like. And so I ended up just cutting all of that out and just showing you the finished product. Otherwise, you would have been sitting here for 15 minutes watching me just change the exterior wallpaper, which, yeah, you probably would have gotten bored and turned it off. So yeah, so now the outside is done and I can work on the inside of the house. This particular home design also had blueprints of floor plans of the inside available, which was super helpful. And actually, I ended up using the floor plan almost exactly the way it was done by the architect, which I've said before is I don't usually do. So now I have to kind of eat my words because I did it this time. But the main reason why I usually don't is because it's usually too hard to get the floor plan to make sense in The Sims as to what it is in the real house. But for some reason, this particular floor plan worked really well for The Sims. I didn't include a picture of it in this video, but I'll put a link to it in the description. I know a lot of you guys are builders and a lot of you like to do recreations. And so you might like to take a look at the floor plan and see if it's one that you want to play around with as well. The things that really appealed to me was the openness and the fact that the kitchen was huge. And if you've been downloading my houses, you probably know I always have ridiculously huge kitchens. And so when I saw that on this plan, I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then I loved how it had this sort of like glass, all windows dining room right off of the kitchen, which I thought was really pretty. So yeah, I really followed this blueprint really closely. For the packs in here, this is a lot of cats and dogs, jungle adventure, seasons, kind of all my go-to packs for just traditional family homes as well as rustic and farmhouse. I know this is called a modern farmhouse, but really I didn't want to do a modern interior. I wanted it to be a little bit more of a rustic country interior. I didn't really have a reason other than I just liked it that way. And to me, when I think about a farmhouse, and like a lot of the accounts that I follow on Instagram that post photos of like real farmhouses that have been remodeled, a lot of times, even though the exterior is pretty modern, the interior will have a lot of country and rustic sort of elements in it. And I think that kind of makes sense with the whole idea of a farmhouse. So that's why I went with that. And then as far as the colors go, I was mostly inspired by the exterior. So I knew I had all of these black framed windows to work with. And so that's why I chose the black doors and archways for the interior. For the floor, I chose this gray that's very, very sort of rugged and aged looking, because again, it kind of made me think of a farmhouse. And yeah, so here now I'm just kind of flipping around to the front of the house, working on the entryway. And you will have to probably, when you place this house, you'll have to click on the front door here and mark it as the front door, because even though, so basically the easiest way to describe it is anytime you do a walkout basement, the game doesn't know that that's what you did. So they always assume that whatever exterior door you have on the first, the first ground floor level of your build, they're going to consider that the front door, even if it's in the back of the house. Like for this one, even though the basement door was way around on the back side corner of the house, it still called it the front door. In fact, you'll see here at one point when I was playtesting something, the welcome wagon came and they were all standing at the back basement door, and it kind of scared me for a minute because I didn't know they were standing there. Yeah, so you'll just have to make sure, and if you have any of my other houses, from the gallery that have walkout basements, it's the same thing with those. You always have to label that second story front door so that your Sims will know and the company and visitors will know that that is actually the main level. Here is the living room area. Again, lots of cats and dogs, jungle adventure, seasons, parenthood, kind of all my regular go-to packs. I used a lot of gray and white in this house, and that was mainly inspired from Instagram as well, because I follow a lot of home interior accounts, and I feel like everything's gray and white. They never have color, which if you've, watched me do apartments and stuff, you guys know I love color. I love bright colors. So it's a little bit challenging for me to kind of wash the colors out of the interior. I kind of have to fight against that a little bit because it kind of goes against what I want to do. But I think in the end, it does look really nice with this gray and white because it looks very clean and it really matches nicely. Everything has that kind of like uniformity to it that I really like. Also, it gives you the opportunity when you move your Sims into this house, if you have certain colors that you like, it's very easy to add, paintings or decor to a house that's got all this gray and white already there, because it's kind of like a blank canvas of whatever you would want to make it. And you might see did that corner couch kind of in their little reading area there. And then what I did behind that couch is I used the small triangular shaped hallway table that we got with Get Famous. And I put that behind there so there wouldn't be a gap. And it really fits perfectly. So I highly recommend that if you like to use these corner couches, which I just think look very inviting for like reading. And I always put it right next to a bookcase because it just makes me feel like this would be the little like reading area of the house. I did not put a TV in this living room because there is a huge family room on the basement level that has a big screen TV. So my thought process was kind of like this living room would kind of be more of the quiet area, or maybe where you have company over, or, you know, where you just don't want a TV on. And then the downstairs basement, like I said, big screen TV and like the video game systems and everything are down there. So it kind of gives you like the two different living rooms. I used quite a lot of decor from Eco Lifestyle as far as like the surfaces, like the shelves and the bookcases, because I really like them and they're super cool. You'll see the one I put there in the hallway. I used another one in the upstairs hallway, and I used a lot of the shelves, like the wall shelves too. That's probably my favorite thing about the Eco Lifestyle pack, are all the different kinds of shelves and bookcases that we got. Again, sticking with a lot of black and white and gray just to kind of keep the theme going here. This is all open, so from the front door to the living room to the kitchen to the dining room, it's all open with this sort of like twisting staircase in the middle. Again, this is also taken from the house, the real house from Instagram had this exact kind of staircase design. So I just stuck with that because I thought it looked nice. Here I'm just cluttering up this shelf. I ended up going in and I finally remembered about the candles that we got with Eco Lifestyle. You have to get them out of the debug. I think that's why I forgot that we had them. So I finally remembered to use them. And so I put some of those here, and I also put some on the upstairs bookcase. I just think they're really nice. So when you first place them in build mode, they're not lit, but as soon as you switch to live mode, they light up. And so, just remember that. So if you're using them like somewhere, I don't know, like on a shelf or something, they will flame up at the top once you go into live mode. And then now I'm just in the kitchen. I'm going to clutter it up. This is a very long counter. I ended up doing the sink on the island. Again, that was what was in the original house plan, and I thought it looked nice. The appliances in here are from Jungle Adventure. The cabinets are from the Vampire pack. I get asked this question about once a week because I use these cabinets all the time, and nobody ever knows where they come from. So yes, these are from the Vampire pack. The default color is brown. So if you're looking for them in build mode, you're not going to see this white and black design unless you click on the little swatch. They come in a brown with like a dark brown with like a medium brown, and then they come in this black and white swatch, and then they also come in a green swatch. They're like one of my favorite cabinets in the game. I just think they're really pretty. And I especially like the black and white cabinets with the black and white farmhouse. I just feel like it goes together perfectly. Then here, there's a really nice sized bar. So there's plenty of seating. You've got a bar, I believe there's five bar stools, and then you've got the full dining room table for 8. So yeah, you can have lots of big family get-togethers. This actually would be a really nice house for like a generations family, or really just any large family that you might have, just because, you know, the main living areas are so big. There is a bedroom downstairs. Oh, I didn't even mention, there are a total of 4 bedrooms. So the master and 2 kids are up on the 2nd floor. And then there's a teen bedroom down in the basement on the ground level which could also be like for grandparents or something if you had a generations family that you needed a house for. This little room right here is just a pantry. Again, it was on the floor plan, so I decided to go with it. And I just put a bunch of shelves in here and then went through the debug catalog. It's a good thing that I can speed this up because I think I spent like an hour just scrolling through the debug trying to find anything and everything that would fit the theme of a pantry. I don't do these often, so I don't have a lot of like these items memorized. Like I know we have coffee and I know we have like some bowls and stuff. I don't think I put anything in here that will turn like green and get all gross, because I'm usually pretty careful about using like, you know, the drink cups or the mugs or anything that are going to be needing to go into the dishwasher. So hopefully none of this stuff will need to be washed. But yeah, this is just kind of one of those areas where you could put pretty much anything. So if you have other, you know, debug decor ideas that I didn't think of, it'd be easy to just add them in here. These drinks, I love. Those are from New Eco Lifestyle pack, and they come in like the little 6-pack and then the individual bottles as well. Here I did a little bit of a time skip when I was working on the garage. The garage took a really long time because I like to really clutter it up and use a lot of different kinds of decor. So I ended up not recording that because I really just took a lot of time with it. Yeah, so then here, basically as you come through the garage, you come into like this little small hallway and there are 2 doors. So the door straight ahead is to the guest bath, which is the only bathroom on this level. And then the door on the right takes you into the laundry room. Again, this is right from the floor plan that the architect made for this house, which is a little bit different for me because I never think about putting a laundry room in the front of the house. But actually, I think it's pretty cute. I like it. I always like when the laundry room is near the kitchen and when it's near the garage, because that just makes sense to me. It's more like a mud room. So mostly everything in here is from laundry day, except I did use, you just saw me place the new laundry cabinet that we got with Eco Lifestyle, which is kind of random. Like, I don't know, I wasn't really expecting to see that in that pack, but I love it. I think it's great and it matches perfectly with this laundry day furniture. So I stuck that in there, especially since this was such a nice big laundry room. And yeah, so I'm just kind of cluttering it up with a bunch of different laundry day decor. This cabinet has like snap spaces where you can put certain decor items, and then everything else, pretty much everything else in here is from laundry day. The lighting in this house, you'll notice I keep going through and adjusting it because I did do the brighter white. Just because with all the white and gray that's in this house, the yellowish light really kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So I was careful to go back through and change all of that. And yeah, so now this last room on the first floor is the home office. I used quite a bit of Realm of Magic mixed with Discover University in here. Anytime I build a house in Glimmerbrook, even though it's not for a magician or a spellcaster, I like to use the items from this pack because I just kind of feel like it goes with the world. So I did use a combination of that with the Discover University, which I really like for home offices because I think it makes them look very nice. Again, lots of black and white and gray. And then I went into the gallery and found a couple of paintings. I've talked about this before, but if you go into the gallery and you just go into search for item and you type in paintings, you can get tons and tons of player created paintings that are just beautiful. Because I'm sure if you're like me, you get really tired of using these same old paintings that we've had in the game forever. So I did that and that was fun. And there's an easel in here, so I thought that made sense. And this would be a really nice office for a freelance career, just because it has like a nice size and has a door that closes, so plenty of privacy and nice and quiet away from the kids and the pets. Oh, speaking of pets, I did include items for pets, food bowl, toy box, a pet bed, so maybe they could have, oh, you got a little peek there at the painting I was just talking about. So yeah, I was kind of thinking a dog, but a cat would be okay too. So now that I'm done with the main level, I'm heading upstairs to start the bedrooms. And I started with the master bedroom. Now you'll notice at first that I was using this lighter gray floor. Normally, if I use a certain type of wood flooring on the first floor, I'll use the same for the second floor. But I was worried that maybe it was a little too dark for bedrooms. And so I started out with this light gray. But then as I was finishing this bedroom up, I felt like it was too light. I don't know. It just, something about it just was not vibing. I just didn't like it. And so I ended up switching it at the end back to the same gray flooring, like the darker gray that I used on the first floor. And I think it looks much better. So in here, the feature wall is from Eco Lifestyle, the bed, and these fabricated leaf decor wall pieces. That's all from Eco Lifestyle. I've had a lot of people ask me about those leaves. Since they are fabricated, you will have to use the cheat, the BB dot ignore, well, I use the ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement, but it's not that one. It's the BB dot show hidden objects. You have to use that cheat in order to use the fabricated items from Eco Lifestyle. Otherwise, if you don't use that cheat, you can only make those items with the fabricator. So yeah, if you're wondering where all these items are that I'm using, that is how I'm using them. I always use 4 cheats every time I build. Move objects, of course. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with that. Can't live without it. Then the ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement, the show hidden objects, and the show live edit objects. I use all 4 of those anytime I build, whether I'm building a house or decorating an apartment. I just put those in every time, no matter what. Now, if you have to stop your game, you know, to go do something, you take a break or whatever, and then you come back to work on your build, every time you restart the game, you will have to type those cheats in, you know, again. And also, I always tell people too, move objects, even if you're not a builder, move objects is a very important cheat for placing any of my houses from the gallery. Basically, if you don't enter that cheat, you are going to have serious problems with missing items, missing decor. Things can just be really messed up. So always enter that cheat before you place the house. So the best way to do it is to have your sim, or yeah, it's best if you put your sim on the lot first that you want them to live on. Then go into the gallery, get the house. Well, make sure you enter the cheat, so the BB dot move objects. Then when you get the house out of the gallery and place it in that mode where you're already in like build mode for the lot, like your sim is already living there, it works so much better. If you try to place the house from what I call it map mode, so if you're like looking at the map of the world and you can see all the lots, and you go in to the gallery and you select the house and then you just try to place it on the map, first of all, it'll take forever. You'll get that like hammering noise where it's like the house is building, but sometimes it'll just build and build and build, and it'll either take like 10 minutes or it won't even do it. So I really discourage people from doing that method because it's such a pain. So it's always better if you can actually go into the lot first. Anyway, I'm talking right over the top of this. This is the toddler bedroom. That is the new toddler bed that we got with Eco Lifestyle, which I'm still obsessed with. I think it's so adorable. And this one with the black wood I hadn't used yet. And it's so cute because the pillow and the little stuffed animal are like Dalmatian print with the black and white spots. So it was perfect for this house, and that bed definitely set the theme for the entire room. So I knew once I chose that I was going to go with a lot of black and white in here. At the end, I don't think it's on the recording, but at the end I actually did go back and add a little bit more color, just because in a toddler room, I felt like it really was missing. Oh, I know what it was. I changed that mirror over the dresser to bright blue, and I changed some of the artwork to bright blue, and just kind of tried to add a little bit more color. But I'm still sticking with the overall like black and white theme for the room. Like I said, it was all based off of that bed. It's so adorable. And I thought it was cute how the little Dalmatian lamp lamp's from Cats and Dogs, I believe, or is it My First Pet Stuff? No, I think it's from Cats and Dogs. That lamp matches that bed so perfectly. So yeah, it's kind of dark, but I don't know. I like it. I've done black in toddler rooms before, and it's probably a little bit different, but I think it still looks cool. And yeah, so now I'm just cluttering up this dresser with a few toddler items. It's always kind of hard to clutter up a toddler room because you're always trying to think of things that would actually be for a toddler. So, you know, we have like the building blocks and the toddler tablet, and, you know, a dollhouse is always nice to take up a lot of space. But yeah, we don't have a ton of toddler things. And then right across the hall is a child's bedroom. Again, I use the Eco Lifestyle. I'm using a lot of Eco Lifestyle. I just realized all three of these, actually all four bedrooms, are done with Eco Lifestyle bedroom sets. I guess it's because it's a new pack and it's just more interesting right now to me to try to experiment around, especially with these black swatches, because I haven't used those yet. If you've been watching some of the other Eco Lifestyle builds that I've done over the last couple weeks, I've used mostly all the like natural woods and the white and gray, and I hadn't really ventured into looking at this black swatch very closely, but actually I like it. I mean, it's not something I would use all the time, but I think for this particular house where I was kind of having this black and white theme, I thought it turned out pretty cute. And for this kid, I wasn't really thinking of a certain age, so I guess it could be a teen or a child since there is a computer in here. Really any school age kid, I guess, would be fine. And it's a nice big room, so they had plenty of room for extra bookcases, and I put a little couch in here. They've got a guitar and like some trophies and different kinds of school type decor. Plenty of room to add even more stuff. I always say that in every video, but you guys know how it is. I mean, I don't clutter my houses up to the point where you can't move your Sims in with their own stuff that needs a place to go. So it should work. And this bookcase is from Discovery University, and the desk is actually Base Game. The chair is also from Discovery University. I think, even though, I mean, technically, I guess you're thinking more of like a university-aged kid, I use a lot of that stuff just in regular kids and teens bedrooms as well, because I think it just has a nice youthful sort of look to it that could go for pretty much any age. And while I'm building, I'm always thinking, you know, since these houses are going to be used by many different players that have many different types of families, I never really think of any specific like ages or even personalities sometimes for the kids. I try to leave it kind of open to interpretation a little bit, so you can kind of make it into anything that you want it to be. Yeah, so one other thing I wanted to tell you guys that's kind of exciting, other than having the new intro and logo and everything, is that I ordered some new audio equipment. So I'm really excited about that because I noticed in a lot of my videos, sometimes when I laugh or I get like really excited about something, that there's a lot of like wind and feedback on the microphone. So that is going away. Probably, I'm guessing by the next time I post a video, that should be all installed and ready to go. So that's exciting. I feel like there's been a lot of changes over the last few months, you know, trying to, you know, like I said, last month I upgraded my computer with like extra RAM and stuff, and like slowly but surely I'm improving my computer and my setup for YouTube and everything. I think YouTube is one of those things that's very intimidating at first if you don't have a lot of equipment or a lot of money to spend on equipment. And so I remember back when people first started telling me, oh, you should do your builds on YouTube, you should make a video. And I was thinking, there's no way I can do that. Like, I don't have a good system. I don't have any equipment. I don't even have a microphone. And now slowly over the last, you know, year, well, the channel, let's see, we started in March last year. So yeah, it's over a year old now. I've been able to slowly, you know, bit by bit, invest more in trying to make everything a little bit better over time. So hopefully you guys will appreciate that and it will sound a little bit better next time when I do another voiceover. So yeah, now we're down in the basement of the house, and this I was thinking of as kind of like a teen kid hangout, big screen TV, jukebox, the ping pong table. I just try to think of anything that kids or teens would like, or even just the family can do together. You know, they can come down here and play video games or listen to music and just hang out. The colors, yeah, I'm still not completely 100% sure about the colors, but I'll tell you how I justified these color choices. My kids are gamers as well as I am myself. And so one thing that we always complain about in our living room is how sunny it is. And I think, like, if you're really into gaming or even just watching movies, the darker the better, right? And so I was kind of thinking, you know, okay, this basement, you know, is really going to be designed just for gaming and movies and hanging out. So that's why I kind of went with this very dark theme, and there's not much sun, there's not very many windows, and that's just kind of how I justified it. Here we'll do another little time skip because it took me a while to work on this. I had they've got their consoles, their candy, their soda pop. They got a little mini fridge. Yeah, so these kids have got everything they could want to have this like really cool kid hangout. Probably all the kids in the neighborhood are going to want to come and hang out at this house and play in the basement. Yeah, and then the last bedroom, bedroom number 4, this is the one that I did for a teen. But this is a very mature bedroom, so I feel like it would be good even for like a college student or another older family member. Again, I did eco lifestyle because it's new and fun, and I haven't used this houndstooth pattern yet, so I thought it'd be fun to play around with it. And it might be a little bit busy, but you know, you're a teen. It's fine. I just really wanted to use it and see how it would all turn out. So yeah, this is all from the fabricated stuff that you get with Eco Lifestyle. And you can actually get even more houndstooth stuff. They have the desk, the bed, the table, the chest. They even have more things. I don't know. There's lots of houndstooth stuff. So you can go really crazy with it. Let's see, there's a computer in here and an easel, and you know, I'm just trying to think of like general like teen, young adult type interests. It's really nice how they are just right outside that big family room area for all the gaming and movies. So yeah, this teen is living the good life. This is like a dream teen. They basically have like this whole floor of the house all to themselves. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I put like some music over here and not really a ton of decor. So you could add more things if you want to. This wallpaper I just thought looked kind of cool because the pointy kind of jagged edge I thought kind of matched the houndstooth pattern. And then there's also a bathroom down here, but I did not record that because this video is so long. If you're still watching, thank you for sticking with me this long. I'm sorry. I really tried to cut out as much as I could, but it still turned out to be 40 minutes. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my latest builds. And you can follow me on the gallery. My ID is ErikaBuilds. So I will see you all again next time. Bye-bye.